Hello everyone for joining me. I am on Periscope and on Facebook Live. So hopefully today Facebook Live will do a little bit better than it did yesterday. But if it does cut out, I'll just repost another video later on. I won't stop. So today we're going to discuss the book release again, The Unveiling of a Mask. I just wanted to give you some more information about it. The book will actually be released on, hey Renown, the book will actually be released on March the 12th. We are pre-selling now for the hard copies because we have to order those in advance. But just to give you a little background about the book, Renal, let me know if I'm freezing up as I did yesterday. To give you a little bit background about the book is on my life story, mine's and my husband's and our boys. Is on our life story. It's about some of the struggles that we have been through. How do we get through those struggles? And how do we remain to be a happy family even today? How my husband has become my soulmate. Talking about some of the things that we actually went through when we were going through those struggles. And a lot of people say, well, you know, some marriages are not worth keeping, are not worth, some relationships are not worth staying together. And you're absolutely, absolutely correct about that. And I like to go back and tell people, when you think about that, you have to think about the other person. I just think it's so easy for us to, you know, when something gets hard, you just want to let go of it. And that's what this book is about. It's about motivating you and inspiring you to let you know that, you know, every time you have a struggle in a relationship, it's not worth just letting go of that relationship. You have to look at, is it worth working towards to make it a better marriage or a better relationship? Is that person worth you putting your time into? What is going to happen if you put that time into and make things right? Is it going to be better for you? Is it going to be better for that person? And we have to think about that. Thank you for all who joined on Periscope. You have to think about that. You have to think about, you know, when I think back, the reason why I decided to try to make my relationship work. Me and my husband has been together for 31 years. The reason I tried to make it work is because I saw the person that I fell in love with. The characteristics of this man, you know, was worth me saying, you know, I selected him to be my husband. I selected him to be the father of my children. Why did I do that? If he had done enough things back then for me, and we were 16 and 18, for me to say I wanted this person to be my husband, I knew he had to have some pretty good characteristics about him for me to want to stick with him and stay with him, right? So you have to think about that. You have to think about, is that person worth it, first of all? Is your relationship worth it? Is it worth the work that you're going to have to put into it? Because it's not something that you're going to have to, you know, do once or twice. A relationship, any type of relationship, a marriage, is just like any other relationship, business relationship, friendship. You have to put the time in it to make it work, right? So your struggles may be totally different than the struggles that we have. We had to deal with my husband having a mental illness, being diagnosed with a mental illness, and everything that in details in that. And I mean, it's a lot. When you read the book, you're going to see a lot of things that we went through. A lot of things that we went through, and that's why we call it the unveiling of a mask, because no one knew. You know, even a lot of our family members still to today won't know what all we've really been through until they read the book. So that's how important it is. So your struggle may not be the same as my struggle, but you can, you know, take out the mental illness and put whatever you're going through in your marriage, because every marriage is totally different. Every struggle is totally different, right? That's like if you're trying to be a business owner, you can't per se talk to someone else as a business owner and think that they can tell you everything that's going to go wrong in your business to keep you from going there. It's not, because each business is different. Each marriage is different. Each relationship is different. And you have to know going into a relationship, there are going to be some struggles. There's no way possible that you're not going to have struggles, right? You just have to learn how to deal with those struggles. I'm country. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I always, you know, say my little country terms. So one of them is, you know, hey, thank you so much for joining. one of the sayings is, teeth and tongue fall out. You bite your tongue sometime. So definitely living with another unique person as yourself, will have everything that's different about them like you're definitely going to have some struggles in life, and you're going to have some things that you're going to work through. We just have to learn how to work through those things. So we learned how to work through our struggles of having mental illness. Now, are those struggles over? We never know. Once I did my research on mental illness, it's a time that they stop taking their medicines because they feel better, because they want to have more energy, because they, don't like the side effects to it and all of that. We're going to really, so we never know what's going to happen down the road. But what I do know is, from what I've learned all these years, and he was diagnosed, well, we really started going through things and really didn't know what it was at that time, but it was 1998. So I was a very young lady, and he was a very young man, being only 2 years older than me, right? So we had to really learn how to deal with those things at an early age, and no one else not really understanding what we were going through. No one understood what he was going through, not even me. We had no idea. We just thought it was marital problems. So when you look at those things and you say, well, why did you stay into that? Well, he was worth it. And he's definitely worth it today. All that we have gone through, we have gone through a lot. Everything that we have gone through, I still, and I know he feels the same way, say it was worth it. It was worth it. But you have to remember one thing when you're going through something. See, I couldn't help him until I helped myself. I had to make sure that I loved myself enough, because if my cup wasn't filled enough with love in it for myself, I couldn't help him deal with what he was dealing with, right? So we had to remember that. And I think another big thing that a lot of people don't discuss and talk about enough is knowing my self-worth. At an early age, I knew my self-worth. I knew what I brought to the table. I knew the type of woman I was going to be. I knew the type of woman that, young girl that I was. And I really, I knew that because I was taught that. And I think it's so important that we teach our young people that. Not only, to have high self-esteem, but they really have to know what they bring to the table. They have to know that, you are the only person that holds those keys, because you are fragile and you are a precious person. You're just like China, and you keep yourself locked up behind a glass, and you're the only person that has those keys that can let someone else in. And a lot of our young ladies don't believe that. I have friends right now who will tell you that they're beautiful, but I know, because I know them, that they don't feel it on the inside. They're able to see it because people have told them that all of their lives, that you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. But when you really know a person, they don't really feel that way on the inside. So you have to feel that way on the inside when you know your self-worth. Then when you know your self-worth, you're not staying with a person because you feel like you can't have anyone else, because, you feel like this is what you deserve in life. No, I don't think I deserve that in life. But what it did, it made me a stronger person. But I was able to deal with that and say, you know what? I know I can get somebody else if I wanted someone else. But I love this man so much it wouldn't be fair to another man for me to even be with him, because I could never love anyone the way that I love Paul. There's no way possible. So it would be unfair to someone else. And I truly believe it was the same with Paul. I truly believe we both know our self-worth. We both have very high self-esteem, and we both know how to take care of ourselves. He have to take care of himself before he can help take care of me, right? I had to know how to help take care of myself. So sometimes I had to get away from the relationship to take care of myself. So when he returned, I was able to then take care of him. Because even though he was just as important as I was, we had 2 boys that I had to give that love to as well. So I had to distinguish. But if I didn't know my self-worth, if I didn't know how to give myself, self-love, if I didn't know how to love and take care of myself, then I could never have been able to help take care of him all of those years. But thank God, I had parents who really taught me that. I come from a long line of very strong aunts and uncles, and my mother and my father. So I was taught that at a very young age. I remember our grandmother telling us, you know what? what? If I say something that you don't like, you can tell me that. If I try to put you down, you put me back in my place. She was one of those kinds that would tell you stuff and have you going to school telling your teacher and you be in trouble. Then your mom would be calling her and talking about you, and she'd be like, oh, yeah, I know, I told her to say it. Because she taught you to stand up for yourself. She taught you to love yourself. She taught you that no one was bigger than you and no one was smaller than you. She taught you how to love everyone and to respect everyone. But first of all, you must show yourself respect. See, I learned that at a young age, and I think we need to get back to teaching our young people these things now. Because when you teach them that, they're able to withstand things when they come into their lives. They know how to handle situations. They know how to handle that. When everyone, I come from a family where we have different complexions in our family, but I'm the only one that has this complexion. I'm the only one that has this type of hair. And she never, ever treated me any differently than she treated any of her other granddaughters. Well, when you go in the street, sometimes, and as African Americans, we know this, sometimes you're treated a little bit different because you are prettier, or they perceive you as being prettier because you're light-skinned. So they treat you a little bit different. If you got long hair, they treat you a little bit different. That's how it was when I came up. Thank God we're evolving from that now. But I had a grandmother who said, you're no better than any of your other cousins, and they're no better than you. Your looks are not going to get you anywhere. You got to work hard in life. Those little lessons and those little talking to as she's cooking or as she's cleaning up, or, I would go to work with her and we would ride the city bus to work and back. Those little lessons that she would give me, I think back on those when I'm going through struggles myself. I think back on, and I can remember, and I don't know why I even paid attention to things like this when I was coming up. My aunts, when they would go through things with their husbands or their boyfriends, or different things would happen in their life with their children, I would see how they would handle them, and I would pay attention to that. I didn't know why I was paying attention to it, but I was paying attention to it, and I was looking at their strength that they had, and I said, Lord, if I had to go through all of this, I don't know what I would do. As a young child, that's what I would say. And I would just remember looking at in awe of them, saying how strong they were. Well, that strength came right on me. It fell and it covered me and it showered me, as well as my other cousins and relatives. But it showered me. So when now that I go through things in my life, I look back and I think back and I reminisce often of my childhood when I would see them go through things. And I know one of the things that my grandmother would say that my mother picked up on, that a lot of her sisters and brothers picked up on, they would say, what doesn't kill you would only make you stronger. And I've gone through some things and I said, Lord, I'd just rather be dead than to continue to go through this. I would say, Lord, how strong do you think I am? You must know, because I don't feel like I'm strong enough to keep going through this. I don't feel like I'm strong enough to handle these situations that you have me in. But I know you had to allow the devil, because I'm your child. I know you had to allow the devil to put his hands on me for me to go through this, because that's what I felt like it was. But then I think back, what if he had had another wife? What if Paul had had another wife? Would they have been strong enough to deal with that? What if he had had another woman? That's how I know that God put us together, because I'm the woman that was strong enough to go through this with him. So I just wanted to talk about the book a little bit, just to give you a little bit more. I gave you a synopsis of the book yesterday. You can look through my on my timeline to see that video of yesterday. But today I wanted to talk a little bit more about, what makes the relationship strong, what makes you stay in the relationship. And I wanted to read to you a little bit, just giving you a little bit more information about the book, because the book release doesn't come out until March the 12th. That's when we're going to have our book release. But I'm selling 200 hardback copies of the book before the release even hits, because I want people to have this book as a keepsake for yourself. But if it's something, because I do this all the time myself, and I have 3 books now that I still have to give away. I give away books after I've read them if I think someone else can help them. If I think the book can help someone else, because I want to encourage them as well. But I want you to know how this book is going to motivate and inspire you. When I worked for corporate, I never thought about writing a book. That was never something that was in my mind, to write a book. But with some tragedies, that happened to me with the car wreck and all of that, and you'll read that in the book. My husband decided that he wanted me to write a book. He just wanted to give me something to do so I wouldn't concentrate on not being able to walk for 4 months, having broken, bones in my leg, and having the external thing holding my leg together because my knee was so busted up and all those things. He didn't want me to concentrate on the pain. So he's the one that decided that I should write this book. And I was like, we really want to share our life story with people. Then as I started thinking about it, as I started praying about it, and as I started talking to my confidants about it, I decided that yes, that was the best thing to do, because we're going to help so many people, not just marriages. We're going to help young girls understand that they need to know how to love themselves first before they can love anyone else. We're going to talk about knowing your self-worth as a teenager. You can't wait and learn your self-worth as a young lady. You got to know it as a young girl. I was supporting one of my, another radio show host, yesterday. And there was these two little girls up there who are little divas. And when I said mom has really taught them some stuff, they know right now about their self-worth. You would think those were, grown women in little bodies. And I'm not talking about the fastness of it. I'm not, because, we have some little fast girls. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this girl understands that her mother could not buy her Christmas stuff because she has the bigger picture in mind of what she want to do. And she knows she needed those acting lessons. So we're going to skip Christmas gifts because we have all these gifts and toys that we're not using anyhow. So we're going to do that. So we're going to give you those lessons that you need because you want to be a star in a movie, in your own production. We're talking about you understand you don't care about your haters. I don't really use the word haters because I don't think anyone really hates on anyone. They just have a problem with themselves. So I don't worry about that. But she understood that people who do not like her for a certain reason, that she should not concentrate on them. She has to concentrate on what she wants to do and what she want to be. Even when she was in school, she's homeschooled now. This was a good part. Even when she was in school, she would just tell people what she was going to be. I think she's like 9 or 10 now. And so when she was in school a couple of years ago, she was telling people what she was going to be. She was going to be this star. And people did not believe her. So now that she have made as far as she has made it, her and her mom and them are going to California to make her even bigger than she can be here in Georgia. But now some of those same little kids are on her different blogs and things telling her, oh, I didn't know you were that talented. I didn't know you was going to be big. I remember when you said you was going to do this. And she don't come back with the smart remarks because guess what? She already knew who she was. She already knew her self-worth. So this book is going to help young girls out like that. It's going to help them understand their self-worth. It's going to help our teenagers who go through all this different stuff, worrying about wanting to be, in the in crowd and stuff. It's going to let them know, hey, I got to love myself, whether you love me or not. When they can't get the boyfriend that they want, I still love me. I'm still worth it. I don't have to change anything about me for me to have someone like you. I just got to wait for the right one to come along because the one I want may not even be the one that I need anyhow. We have to teach our young people that. But it's also going to motivate and encourage married people as well, especially women, to understand because we carry the bulk of the emotions in the relationship. So it's going to encourage you how, and we're the ones who say we don't want to give up so easy. We got to understand and see is it worth, us really putting all this energy into it because we'll just take. And this book is going to let you know, yes, you do still have to take, but sometimes you have to step back and you have to love yourself. This book is going to talk about all of that to you. So let me just read a little bit about what I wrote down about the book because, when you get to talking, you kind of forget sometimes some of the things that you want to say. So the title of the book is The Unveiling of a Mask, but the subtitle is A Love Kissed by God's Own Lips. Most people know that me and my husband had, like I said, it's been together for 31 years since we were 16 and 18. It was love at first sight for me. I don't know about from him. He said it was, but I don't really believe it. And you'll see why when you read the book. But it was love at first sight for me. So that's why I said love kissed by God's own lips. I pray as you read this book that you will smile, laugh, cry, smile, and laugh again. Those were all of my emotions as I was writing this book. This was absolutely the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm a very private person, but I know by sharing our story, this will help someone else who is going through the same exact thing or similar things, or can insert their struggle where we were going through our struggle. I want that couple to know that they can make it even though it's going to be rough at times. I want them to know that they have to make the memories that are so good when, so good when times are bad, that they can reflect back on those good memories. And I'm going to pause right there for just a moment. That is so important for us to remember. We have to make those memories so good so that we can reflect back on them when things are bad, because that's what's going to help get us through. So when times are bad, even though this book speaks about the tragedy of being diagnosed and living with a mental illness, it also speaks about the love that held us together, held this family together. It speaks about the love that held this family together. So you have to love one another. And as a spouse, you have to be in love with one another. Those are two different words. Love and in love are two different things. But held our family together throughout it all. Our love outweighed all of our troubles, and we are still dealing with the illness one day at a time. We never know what's going to happen in the future. We never focus on the illness during the good times. We spend those times to love and enjoy one another, to make those great memories that kept us strong, that keeps us strong when we must deal with the illness. Our two sons love and respect their father. Paul and I are more in love today than we were when we first met 31 years ago. He is definitely my true soulmate, and I believe that I'm his as well. So that's what the book is going to be about. It's going to be some emotions when you read the book. You're going to be in awe at sometimes at some of the things we had to deal with, being homeless with the home. And people don't understand when I say that, but when you read the book, you'll understand that. Making sure that we go through this as a family instead of separating, and we both knew that we could have gotten somebody else. My husband is very attractive. He could have gotten someone else quickly, because women, we look at the physical thing first before we look at anything else. So that physical, how handsome he is, how fine he is. Yes, he is. I still say that because I still lust behind my husband. But also when they see that, he's one of the nicest people that you would ever know. He would do anything for anyone. That type of person, somebody else, I don't care if you do have a mental illness, somebody would take that person in, right? And they would love that person. So if I threw what everybody else was saying was my trash back then, somebody else would have had what I have right now, because everything is under control now, and I am spoiled rotten. Yes, this is the way he paid me back, but he did this even before he even got diagnosed with it. He always treated me good. He always did things for me. He always cooked. He always cleaned. He was that person that did all of those things. So yes, that helped me say, yes, I want to make sure I go through this struggle with him. So I want to just come on today, spend a little bit with you before I do my little mini photo shoot today. I want to come on and just talk about the book a little bit more and let you know you still have until January the 31st to order your hard copy of the book. I always say soft copy. The paperback books will be available after March the 12th, and I will definitely let you know when those are available. But I think our book is good enough that you're going to want a hardback copy of it, because you want to have this as a keepsake, definitely for my family and friends, but for anyone who has gone through something. That's something, like my T.D. Jake books, like my Joel Osteen books, like some of my Steve Harvey books, or my Oprah books. I keep those because when I'm going through something and I need that motivation, I need that inspiration, I need to go back through those. So if you want to get the book now, the information is on my timeline, but this is Periscope that I'm talking to. Periscope, you can go to PayPal. You can send me a $25 PayPal to KAYL which is my first and last name, KaylMay at ymail.com. That is not Gmail. That is ymail. Kayl@ymail.com. In the note part, you put hard copy book pre-sale, and you put your name and your address in there. And after March the 12th, if you're not in the Georgia area, then I will send it to you. But if you're in the Georgia area, please let me know, because I can invite you to the book lunch, because I want to make sure I autograph all of these hardback books, as well as my softback books as well. But I want to have the hardback books at the actual signing, at the actual book release. So I'm very, very excited about that. Hopefully I'll hear from some of you all. Please send me messages. Send me any questions that you may have about the book, or any situation that you may be in that I may be able to help you with. Again, my name is Kayl May. I am co-author of The Unveiling of a Mask with my husband, Paul May Sr. It is subtitled A Love Kiss by God's Own Lips. You can get the hard copy at KAYLMAY at ymail.com by sending a PayPal to that email address. And do it through family friends, so PayPal won't have to be charging us for that. But in the notes part, make sure that you put in there that you are ordering the hardback book, and put your name and your address in. Please let me know if you're in Georgia in the notes as well, so that I can invite you to our book luncheon on March the 12th. Thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to getting your reviews once you receive your book. I appreciate your time. I never take it lightly, so I know there's so many other things that you can be doing. I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today and to find out a little bit more about our book, because we're super excited about it. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.